Roger Ward has completed his master's in management and also a master's in criminal justice administration, both through the ASAP program. We have Jenny Cole, who's completed her bachelor's in organizational management and master's in management as well. We have Erin Flynn Brady, who has completed her master's in management. And Jan Kraft, who comes to us with her bachelor's in social work. So they all live to tell about it, but they're all going to share just a few minutes with you about their story and how they got to where they are, and then we'll open it up for questions, okay? And you know what, Roger, you don't have to start. Jenny wants to start.
Oh gosh, I get to start. My story. Well, I'm from Corning, New York, and I did an associate's in business administration through Corning Community College as an adult student. And before I finished my associate's degree, I knew I wanted to go on for a bachelor's. And I connected with Keuka College, and I knew that this was going to work for me. I was looking for something that I could pursue without having to travel a great distance, and I also didn't want to have to try and do a degree program online, so the bachelor's program became an excellent fit for me. In my bachelor's, I served as a cohort rep, which you're all familiar with, is your roles being here today. And before I was finished with my bachelor's degree, I knew I wanted to go on for a master's. Part of the way through the bachelor's, probably like halfway through, maybe the honeymoon period, all of us were going to go on for our master's together. We had this idea we're going to be the first cohort to do a bachelor's and then a master's. Well, some of us got a little tired, so that didn't happen, but two of us did go on together and pursue the master's degree. And once again, in the master's degree, I was the cohort rep for my group. I think that serving as a cohort rep gives you a unique connection to the college. And in reflection, I was speaking with my sister the other day, and she has also been an adult student. She lives out in Wisconsin. And she was rattling off the number of colleges that she had attended. And my sister has degrees from University of New York, George Washington, some accreditations from Oxford, and she's now attending Marquette. And my sister said to me, she goes, "Jen, there's something you have that I'll never have." "What's that?" She goes, "You have a connection with your college that I'll never get." When I was done, she said, that was it. So, this is something that's so unique in the Keuka College experience that I was not aware of before I started, but it was such an additional gift that I received in addition to my bachelor's and my master's. So I hope that you all will receive that gift too, and that connection and that bond, and find that you have a Keuka family. Thank you.
Well, I'm Erin, and I got my undergraduate at Nazareth College in Rochester in political science. And what I thought I wanted to do for a living didn't really end up being what I now love, but I started off wanting to be in politics because I thought it was exciting. And so I moved to DC, and I worked for Chuck Schumer, and then I worked as a lobbyist. And I realized that politics are really dirty, and I'm very nice, and it just wasn't going to make me happy. Plus, my husband lived up here, so I ended up moving back. And I knew that I loved the Finger Lakes wine region, so I kind of fell into my next job, which was marketing at Swedish Hill Winery. And about halfway through, I realized that I needed to do something else because I had fallen into this new career. So one day while I was looking up ads on the Citizen newspaper website, I saw an ad for the ASAP program, and I clicked on it, and I just randomly decided to go for it. So I did, and I just finished last year, And I just left Swedish Hill, and now I'm the marketing manager at Dr. Frank Wine Cellars. And I do think it is kind of fate. I've found something that I really love and feel good about, and I go to work excited. And I feel like now that I have this degree, I really own it. And I feel like I can own what I do at work. And it's just a really proud feeling. And I know when I interviewed for my current job that my employer was really impressed. And you know, when I talk about marketing ideas, he's like, anything you want to do, go for it, because he's so impressed. And I really think that it transforms the way that I act, too, with other people. I feel like more mature and professional, and that I really just own who I am. So there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and I do give that advice. Own your degree when you get it, and, you know, don't put it away. Exploit it. Be excited about it, and it's worth it.
Well, I'm Janet Kraft, and I prepared because I'm working on my own fear today, which is speaking in front of all of you. So rather than get up here and go blank, I have written down. At the onset, Keuka was my college of choice because the ASAP program concept appeared most compatible with my way of life. Attending classes near my home just one night a week seemed and was ideal. Doing so allowed me to spend most evenings in the company of my husband and sons, ages 12, 14, 19, plus maintain my day job as assistant director of the Livingston County Red Cross chapter. Notwithstanding the degree of convenience that initially drew me to the program, my experiences as a Keuka social work student and member of Cohort 173 bestowed greater appreciation for facets of the ASP experience I had not fully considered. My cohort consisted of 8 students, began our studies in February of 2009. Classes were held on Thursdays from 6 to 10 on GCC's Batavia campus. Along the way, we worked hard and faced many challenges. We read and wrote an abundance of research papers, took lots of tests, and gave numerous presentations. At times, we chose to stay up late at night or get up early in the morning to complete assignments and turn them in on time. Early on, in the face of these challenges, our group cultivated a team spirit. Cohort 173 started this adventure together and became determined to finish it that way as well. While facilitating this, we became friends and developed supportive relationships, sharing each other's successes and challenges. In this way, when one of us struggled with an assignment, we knew others in the cohort would help and were always a phone call away. At times, we formed study groups outside of class, meeting in restaurants and each other's homes. The work therein may not have been easy all the time, but we always had fun. Not to say that everything was continuously rainbows and roses. Individuals within our cohort at times didn't see eye to eye, but we always returned to our common ground. Such ground took in characteristics such as our shared goals, common age group, and similar lifestyles. Our instructors were also very helpful and supportive. They were great resources who generously gave of their time. We frequently called and emailed them with questions during the week, then quickly got on the hotline to inform others in the group about what our teacher had just said. If you choose to, there's also groups on campus that welcome ASAP students. For example, in March of 2010, I applied for and was accepted as a member of Keuka's Alpha Beta chapter of Phi Alpha Social Work Honor Society. Members therein gather monthly on campus, but many also participate in meetings from on campus by means of conference calling. Joining Phi Alpha provided me with an opportunity to meet students participating in the traditional social work program, as well as members of other ASAP cohorts. Incidentally, I found it reassuring to discern by comparing notes with other Phi Alpha members that the curriculum presented to ASAP students off campus really does mirror the curriculum offered on campus to traditional students. As a Phi Alpha member, I took part in and gained experience through projects like a t-shirt fundraiser that promoted the May 2011 Pride Agenda in Albany, a membership drive, and a neighborhood's needs assessment in support of an ongoing community sustainability project taking place in Rochester. The members of my cohort completed their coursework on February 3rd, 2011, and proudly stood together at graduation this past May. Initially, we had 8 members, but experienced the loss of 2 due to personal circumstances before reaching the finish line. Members of cohort 173 remain in contact as friends and confidants. We've even considered pursuing our master's degree together in the future. When all has been said and done, I can truly say that I cherish my Keuka College experience and would definitely recommend ASP program to others wishing to further their education.
I know, you got to do it, Roger.
Yeah, I know. I don't get to claim any great noble reasons for starting off in the program, and I started with my bachelor's in the bottom part of 1999, going all the way up through, or finishing up into 2001, or 2003, sorry. I got dumped, was looking for something to do, and ran into the program, and there it was, so started off on that. I started my bachelor's degree back when cohorts had names, not numbers, because we were small. The program was just starting. Matter of fact, I think it was probably within one of the first 5 cohorts starting for our bachelor's, so I've done it for 3 degrees now. Each cohort has been entirely different. 2 of them we met here on campus, and the last one we met at, well, actually kind of split up the last one a little bit. Met at the CCC main campus for a few, and then for personal circumstances had a bit of a delay and came back and finished it up this May, and we met at the Victor campus. Your cohorts, as been said by everybody, they become part of your family. I just heard from one of our guys last week, hey, it's Wednesday night, do we have class? I'm like, no, I miss it too. Probably need to get together. Our second cohort, we had a person and talk about going through things together. Her house burnt down. One of our students, we had a foreign exchange student from China who, it was for us when you're dealing with the things going bad and all that, it's okay, hey, there's people here that you can talk to and get through and get by things with, but there's this young lady from China who had absolutely nobody but the cohort for her support and stuff throughout that time, so it was a lot of fun.
For these guys.
Have a microphone too.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, for them.
We have one right here. Don't all race at once.
Well, I'll go ahead and get us started then. A couple of you guys touched on this already, but now that you're done, what type of contact, or do you have any contact with your cohort people now? Do you have any connection now?
Yeah, I do. I work in an office building that has a lot of people in it, and there are some, there's another cohort, another person from another cohort that I keep in contact with. We had done a couple of get-togethers, and what I'd like to do next is I'd like to get both my undergrad and my master's cohort together before the holidays. Do you guys get together with yours?
No, we just finished up, but through circumstances we kind of laid off on having any meetings real together because we had one of our members passed away unexpectedly.
Erin, how about you?
Well, I moved. I was going to Keuka Community College for my ASAP degree, and then I got married and moved to Canandaigua, so I live farther away than, you know. But we do stay connected on Facebook and such, so the joys of social media.
How about you, Gina?
Yeah, we call and email and text and all those things.
So you do still feel that support even after the fact? Do you
Oh,
guys
yeah. Yeah.
Still feel that
When there's something big going on, we call each other and talk about it. Discuss how we're going to handle it.
Did any of your cohorts experience problems bonding or problems in communicating?
Having gone through 2 programs, there was something that I noticed in the beginning. To be successful in the program, you really need to have your life supporting that you're going to be attending classes. And in both cohorts, we lost a member in the beginning. I think that for that student, they didn't have their life set up to support that they were going to be working and then also going to classes and then also writing papers and giving that weekend time. So I noticed that that happens. When you get into group work, sometimes that'll put a little bit of pressure on in the cohort. Some students will have strengths in a certain area where another student doesn't have strength in the area, has a strength in another way. Hopefully the cohort will be complementing one another in the different skill sets that they have. Any rifts that could have begun in our cohort, I tried to keep the motto, all for one, one for all. You're spending 2 years together. In 2 years' time, I think I can let some things go under the table. It's also hard to know what might be happening in an individual's life that's creating a challenge for them. As a cohort member or cohort rep, I tried to reach out if it seemed like someone was falling a little bit. You know, tried to see if there was something I could do to help them, if they were maybe struggling with writing in APA format, maybe if there was some way that maybe they needed some help. But I guess the point, I'm getting long-winded, but I guess the point I'm getting at is that having the strength of your cohort is so important. It's part of the strength of this ASAP program. And so you have to give a little, but also to do what you can to foster that. The cohort size may have a little bit of effect on it. I think we had a nice size in both of ours that was 8 or less.
I was going to say that I think that one of the benefits of the cohort is that you do deal with a lot of personalities, and I mean, you have to deal with that in the workplace too. So if you can get through with those people, then you can do it at work too. And there's no avoiding people. Anytime there's people involved, things just get complicated, and you just have to let people just be who they are and just take 2 steps back. But yeah.
Our first cohort, that was one of the things I was going to say. Food, it does have a way of bringing people together. Our first cohort, we actually, in our classroom in Hegman Hall, we chopped up and made jambalaya right in class and cooked it while the nice lady from the bookstore was always walking by smelling what we were cooking, and life was good for us for that cohort, and that was one of the things. And then our next one, we did the same thing, and it's awful hard to get upset with somebody when they're eating pizza and they're looking at you eating pizza, and yes, it's hard to get.
My husband is actually in the eating cohort. Feel hard. My husband is in the eating cohort, and they actually, I'm pretty jealous of them. They started last year, I just started in September, and they're actually a really, really close group. They email all the time, they text, they call, they help each other out with everything. So I've actually gotten to meet some of the cohort members because of my husband and how close they are. And I wish, my cohort isn't bad, it's not like that, but it's not the eating cohort either. So we're kind of in the middle. But I mean, every cohort should strive to be like that. They're really, really close.
And I've been here since 2001. I think I started when cohort 3 started. And every single cohort has a different personality. And, you know, we have the eating cohort. We have one cohort that does a volunteer service on the weekends once a month. There's ways that you can have this camaraderie, build your relationships within your cohort outside of studying. So, you know, if it's bringing food every week, you know, maybe that works for you. But, you know, my point in bringing that up is, you know, they kind of have become known around the office as the eating cohort because they do this every week, and it's just something that manifests itself within the cohorts and the personalities that you develop. So with that, are there other questions for our alumni?
Yeah. For the action research paper, can you give us a little tips or like what to expect when you actually do your presentation?
Sure.
Fingernails pulled out. Okay, I'm kidding.
Roger's done 3
I'm kidding.
Yeah. We survived. We've all survived. You will survive.
It is. It is not that bad. For me, all of our classes, we were doing, if not every week, every other week, we were doing stand-up presentations in our the management master's class. So you're making your presentations every week, or every other week you're making the presentations. That's getting you used to it. The reality is, when it comes time for your ARP, there will be your class, the advisor, and maybe 2 or 3 people from the college. That's it. They don't have independent people come in who you're never stood up before, who are going to ask you and grill you questions over everything.
No.
It's a very, very doable, survivable thing, and it can actually be a lot of fun. So I'm going to tell you, don't stress your ARP presentation. You're going to, because there's no way around it. Don't stress it.
Yeah.
Okay, he says don't stress it because he's done and I'm not done yet.
By the time you get to actually presenting your ARP, you will have worked on that topic and combed over your analysis and your stats, your numbers, whatever you have. You will have become the expert on that. Of all the people in the room, you are the one that is in the know on that. And it seems to be set up where they're going to walk you through it. There's times that in the beginning you're going to get some courses down. It's not ARP yet. In that time frame, you can be thinking of different ideas. Do you want to do something for your job? Do you want to do something for an organization you volunteer with? You can be using that time to think about the question that you want to ask to develop the ARP. And once you get into beginning the process for the ARP, just keep in step. It's going to walk you right through. And like I said at the end, you're going to be the expert on that topic.
I would agree with that, for sure. I mean, and also probably the topic that you're picking is not a topic that, you know, people in the audience are expert on. And so you will have had enough time with it that you can stand up there and actually sound like you know what you're talking about. So it's not that scary. And all the people in the audience are pretty much people that you know, so there's nothing to worry about.
For our social work students, can you talk a little bit about your practicum and what that process was like?
Yeah, we had 480, I believe, hours of practicum time, and we were assigned a place to do our practicum. I did mine at ARC. It was great. We did participated in a little research project, and wrote papers. There was, we did a journal every week discussing a certain aspect of what it is we were doing in our practicum. And enjoyed it a great deal.
Where were you located for your field work?
Where was I? I was in Genesee County.
The practicum hours, are you not able to start those until all of the classes are actually finished? Are you able to start that, say if you're working part-time, are you able to do that in conjunction with the classes?
I believe that you need to wait till your coursework is done, and they'll give you a signal that you can start. There are some documents that need to be signed by the agency that you're going. That was a bit of a struggle where I was, but it got ironed out. But probably Ed Silverman, does he still? He would be the one to contact before you begin anything, to be sure it's okay.
You'll be assigned a, I don't know if they're called placement coordinators or the practicum. There will be a person assigned to your cohort from the faculty member, from the faculty for social work, and they will help guide you through the placement process and all of the paperwork.
Could you guys each share with us maybe one of the challenges that you faced during the time that you were going through your program and how you overcame it?
I had a family member who was very ill, and I had a course that at that time I didn't do well in, and the program is set up that get the first one done, then you take the next course, and then the third, and such, and now I had this class that I didn't have very good grade in, what to do. What I ended up doing was picking that up with another cohort that was following, had started later than our cohort had. So at that time, I really had to juggle, because then I had my Tuesday night that I went, this was in my bachelor's, I had my Tuesday night that I attended, and then I also attended Wednesday night doing another course. So, but that was because something unexpected had occurred. Life happens with the most inconvenient time. So if you can get your life such that it's going to support this program, and something happens, reach out to the college. They will work with you. In my case, it ended up being this course that I wasn't doing well in and had to pick up again, and we found a way. And by the time I was, my cohort was ready to graduate, so was I. And so it was wonderful, you know. Does anyone have anything else that they want to share?
No challenges.
Not really.
I dropped my computer. I dropped my computer and lost everything at one point.
Yeah.
At the final stages of writing a paper. And so my husband said to me, he's a systems manager, computer systems manager, "You do back things up, don't you?" And I said, "No." And he says, "Well, you're about to learn a valuable lesson." And I burst into tears, you know, because it had everything on it. It had all the papers that I'd written from the very beginning. And somehow he waved a magic wand and got it all back, almost $1,000 later. But, yeah, back things up.
Always remember, this stuff is going to happen. Today, the lady got here, she didn't have her video where it needed to be, and you know what? It's okay.
Yeah.
I cannot tell you how many times I've gotten into a classroom to teach a class, and I have a PowerPoint, or I have a video, or I have something, and I get there and I can't access the internet, or, you know, for some reason the computer's not talking to my thumb drive. As professionals, we need to learn to roll with the punches and still be able to move forward.
Yep.
So, like Melissa was saying, she didn't have her PowerPoint. I've got hard copies. I still have to make this presentation. And if you're in the workplace and you have to make that presentation. If that screen isn't working, you still need to make that presentation. And we're actually learning a lot when those things happen. And believe me, I know I'm doing my doctorate right now. I have 2 thumb drives and a hard drive, everything. And about every 3 days, I redo them because I am scared to death that I'm going to lose some type of data or report or something. But yeah, we have to get through these things, and it sucks when it's happening. I've been there, I know it, but the sun comes up tomorrow, guys.
That brings up a very important thing Kelsey mentioned. If you have an issue or a problem, start with your student advisors. If you can't get a hold of them for whatever reason, anybody at the ASAP office will help you. It might not be, you might not be their student at that point in time, because I wasn't one of Kelsey's, but Kelsey got me back from, you were talking about adversity, right in the, we just started our first ARP class, and I was diagnosed with something that put me in the hospital for about 30 days. The ASAP office took care of everything. They're like, okay, we'll get you withdrawn, or we'll get you on a leave of absence from the school. All of that was all taken care of. Let us know when you get back. Halfway through it, and I still have the truck at home, thank you guys very much. Some flowers showed up at the hospital. Unfortunately, they couldn't come into the room because of the nature of things, but the staff at Strong put it right out in front of the window where you could see it. So, and I still have the truck that the flowers came in. So if you have a problem, don't wait for it to get bigger.
That's a big point. Don't wait.
Don't wait.
Yeah.
If you're having a problem on Wednesday, your first phone call Thursday after class should be to your advisor or anybody at the ASAP office, because if they don't know, they can't help you. And they love to help people.
Keep in mind, if you call your student advisor and you have their business card, you call their main line, and then you get put into voicemail for whatever reason. We're not here, we are in a meeting, press 0. When you press 0, it goes to our secretary. Tell her you need to speak with a human being, and at all possible, we'll get you to a human being. It may not be your advisor, it may not have worked with you for the last year, depending on where you are in your program, but Ryder's right, we're there to help you, we're there to get you through for whatever you need to. And although different territories have different things, we've all worked with all the programs so we can figure it out. It may take us up to a phone call to get back to you in an hour, but we will get you through where you need to get through to.
Any other questions, guys? Well, let's give them a round of applause.